Lover. She'll be on in the second half. But before that, we're going to deal with politics. Something that caught my eye that I hadn't heard a lot about. Now, I like Curb Your Enthusiasm. I was in my cousin's in Hilton Head, and I started to love Curb Your Enthusiasm. And this is a continued dance with the left. And you've all heard of Alan Dershowitz. Now, Alan Dershowitz I met for the first time in 1988, when George Englund, who was, he ran Brando's company and Paul Newman's company. He was married to Cloris Leachman, had six kids by her. Great mind and person, and was Brando's best friend, and wrote a book about Brando. And so George produced a film called Terrorist on Trial, The United States of America versus Salim Hashemi, written by Levinson Link, who were the big genius writers of TV at the time, where a lot of the, anyone who was anyone after that was like Stephen Bochco, David Kelly. They all came under the David Kelly, the Levinson Link umbrella. And this was the last script that these guys wrote together before Levinson passed away. Great guys. And it was, I played a Palestinian kidnapped by the United States government to stand for trial for acts of terrorism. Sam Waterston played the prosecutor, his pre-Law and Order days. And Ron Liebman, great actor, who was in Norma Jean and many other films, played the Jewish defense attorney put in there by the government to defend this Palestinian that I played. And Alan Dershowitz was the technical advisor because it was about due process. And the character that Ron Liebman played, the Jewish lawyer, was based loosely on Dershowitz. And it dealt with many aspects of due process. And as we all know, that Alan Dershowitz is a very left-leaning guy. He voted for Biden, supposedly. He voted for Hillary Clinton. And he also defended or spoke positively about Trump many times. And he had many students, Dershowitz, one of being Mike Pompeo. And at some photo conference, he had put his arm around Mike Pompeo. And this is here what I say about the left, and it makes me very angry and very disappointed at Larry David, who has a lot of power. Larry David's been around. He's a bigot. Larry David is now a bigot. I put him in the bigot column. We're going to list bigots in Hollywood, my dear friends. All right? We're going to start listing the bigots of Hollywood because no matter how powerful they are, we have to call out bigots. And here's why Larry David is a bigot. It seems that they were both in Martha's Vineyard, the elite. I guess they hang in Martha's Vineyard. I'd never been there in my life. I've been to South Central L.A., Compton, and other Inglewood, but I ain't never been to Martha's Vineyard. I've been to the Harlem, great pizzeria at 116th, uptown, East Harlem, baby. You're gonna get good food up there, in the jazz clubs and everything. But I ain't been to Martha's Vineyard. That's just not my stopping ground. I've never been invited to Martha's Vineyard. I'm not one of those cats there like Larry David, the elite, that have bleeding hearts, that hang out. So, anyway, Alan Dershowitz was there. Larry David was there. And at one time, Dershowitz was considered, one of the cool cats of the Democratic Party. Now, he bumped into this comic, this Larry David bigot, at a general store in Chilmark General Store. And it has been reported now that the Dershowitz said to Larry David, "Hey, we can still talk, Larry." And David screamed, no, we really can't. I saw you with your arm around former Trump Secretary of State Pompeo. It's disgusting. In that Larry David inimitable style, like he does on his show, which is funny. And Dershowitz said, he's my former student at Harvard. I greet all of my former students that way. I can't greet my former students. It's disgusting. Your whole enclave. Disgusting. You're disgusting. This is Larry David, the bigot. So Larry walks away, and Alan takes off a T-shirt to reveal another T-shirt underneath that said, "It's the Constitution, stupid." And then, supposedly, it's reported that Dershowitz drove off in an old, dirty Volvo. And Dershowitz confirmed the exchange and told us that he and Curb creator had been friends for many years until the lawyer began working with the Trump camp. He even claimed that he helped get one of David's daughters into college and once represented him pro bono in a legal dispute he had on the Massachusetts island where they both spent their summers, Martha's Vineyard. He told us he greeted David at the store, but that the comic walked away from him, which is when he said, "We can still talk, Larry." And this is where the story was picked up. And Dershowitz said that while it might sound on paper like awkward scene from Curb, it wasn't funny at all. The professor claims that David screamed and yelled at him. His face turned bright red, and I was worried he was going to have a stroke, said Dershowitz. He pointed out that on the occasions he had been snapped being affectionate towards Pompeo, who studied at Harvard Law in the early 90s, it's not because he's a blind supporter of Trump administration, but because he admires the Secretary of State's work on the Middle East. And this is what he says. He says, in fact, he worked with Pompeo on his department's policy regarding Israel and the Palestinians and has been invited to the White House by both the Trump administration and the Israeli government to celebrate it. And he said he's disappointed that David can't understand why he'd work with any administration on peace for Israel, regardless of who's occupying the Oval Office. Dershowitz went on to say, while he was writing bad jokes, I was helping to bring peace about in the Middle East. Dershowitz told us. So what has he done? Larry is a knee-jerk radical. I call him now the bigot. He takes his politics from Hollywood. He doesn't read a lot. He doesn't think a lot. This is Dershowitz commenting on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David, the bigot. It's typical of what happens now on the Vineyard, he said. People won't talk to each other if they don't agree with their politics. Bigots. Bigots do that. And Dershowitz said David isn't the only friend he's lost, particularly after he defended Trump over his first impeachment, when that was the quid pro quo thing with the Ukrainian government, which turned out to be not true. And Dershowitz said that's the price of principle. Larry David, the bigot. Dershowitz said that's the price of principle. And Dershowitz said that his principles require that he defend the Constitution. And he felt the first impeachment was unconstitutional. What's wrong with that, Larry David, bigot? You see, everybody's afraid to talk to these people because of the jobs and the powers they have. I'll be punished for this. I know it. I'll be, dragged across the coals. But, like Alan Dershowitz, it's the price of principle. What are our price of principle when you try to do this to somebody? And that's why he removed the T-shirt after the run-in to reveal it's the Constitution, stupid. And it's said that Dershowitz's wife bought this for him because too many people misunderstood his decision to defend Trump. And he made sure that he is a liberal Democrat. And I voted for Biden just as enthusiastically as Larry did, Dershowitz said to a newspaper. He went on to say, David is guilty of contemporary McCarthyism. McCarthy would have been proud of Larry David. He said that in the 50s, political witch hunter Joseph McCarthy went after lawyers who represented people he disagreed with. He said he wants to extend a hand of friendship to the Seinfeld co-creator if Larry wants to talk about any of this. He said, I won't get into a screaming match with him. If he wants to scream, he'll have to scream alone. Of course, the reps for David didn't immediately turn out requests for comment. Bigotry in Hollywood. Back in a minute.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Robert Davi.
You know, I'm the one delivering the message, not receiving it. So I'd like you guys to put up the Davi list of bigots. Put it up on our website somewhere, and you could put up Larry David, bigots, and Stephen Colbert is another bigot, and he's saying that Trump voters to the Taliban. This is another one. Rosanna Arquette put her up on the list because she's another one that said that the Trump voters were, Colbert likens Trump voters to the Taliban. Why should our soldiers be fighting radicals in a civil war in Afghanistan? We've got our own on Capitol Hill. Okay, so that's another thing that we should... Stephen Colbert, bigot. Rosanna Arquette, bigot. Larry David, bigot. So we have to have a list of bigots of Hollywood and the... hypocrisy of liberals who are blacklisting conservatives. Because if they're doing that to conservatives, like Alan Dershowitz, if Larry David is doing that to an Alan Dershowitz, what will they do to me? Is there a constitutional law against blacklisting from Hollywood? I wonder if there's a law out there for that. And also, Michael Moore and Rosanna Arquette, they've likened the Capitol Hill rioters to the Taliban in a few days since Afghan fell. So let's put that a list up. Let's get a list up. We'll add to it every time I see something interesting, because I think it's important. And it's funny. I talked about Africa the other day, Ethiopia, and girls being used for rape. Ethiopia. Well, it happens all over, I am told that in Syria, when they had their war, and still till today, and it's happening in Afghanistan with the Taliban, that they go to door and they collect 12, 13, 14-year-old girls and they sell them. That's a part of the story that's not being told enough. The bigots in Hollywood don't bring that story up as they praise Joe Biden and the wonderful policies of the left. And, I went through that the other day about how Trump would have expelled us out of that, and he had conditions, and everyone that was around that negotiation said it was. So I don't want to hear the left saying, well, Trump started this thing. That's a pile of BS. Okay? Now, the Nigerian president, Muhammadu Buhari, warned this week that Africa is fast becoming the world's new epicenter of Islamic terrorism. This was reported on Voice of America. The global war on terror is increasingly shifting to a new front line in Africa. The Nigerian leader detailed the growing dangers posed by jihadist terror groups on the African continent. Think about this now. They increased deadly attacks over the past year. African affiliates of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, and other Islamic terror groups have targeted civilians and government forces across Africa in recent months, ramping up an established campaign of jihad. And it extends from Sahel, running east-west across Africa, below the Sahara Desert to the eastern nations at Somalia and Mozambique. Now, I've known for decades that they've been killing Christians. They've been beheading and killing Christians there. I had a priest friend of mine, missionary in Nigeria, who would give me reports of this till he demised. And between 2007 and 2019, Nigeria alone recorded over 4,300 terrorist attacks. Somalia counted almost 2,000, Boko Haram being the deadliest. And so you have all these. So Africa, let's pay attention to it. It has here the siege of Palma resulted in deaths of Mozambique forces and Christians, including contractors from outside the country. This was reported on March 29th. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up because sometimes we ignore Africa for whatever reason it is. What is happening there? And believe me, what happened in Afghanistan will affect what's happening in Africa. And like I said about China having a deal now mining these minerals and the materials that are in Afghanistan, this is coming to the forefront more and more. So let's talk about this bigotry for a second there, John. Come on with me. You there, baby?
I'm here, baby.
All right, John. So, John, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Am I out of line calling Larry David a bigot? You think that's a little much?
Am I wrong for calling a duck a duck?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Come on, I don't see your face. Come on, Cameron.
I mean, it's one of those things to where, I mean, yeah, it's all subjective, but at the end of the day, like we have to talk about these things. If there's certain behavior, then at least acknowledge it.
I mean, have you ever gone and saw somebody because you had a difference of opinion and they were friends of yours at one time, and you saw them in a place and you? I mean, what kind of behavior would you think that leads is? What is that?
I mean, I guess I'm an anomaly. I'm different, so I try to be diplomatic. Mm-hmm. But I have had old coworkers that I've had issues with, and
okay, what were some of the issues, like for instance?
Prime example, last year when the George Floyd incident happened, right?
Yes.
And I guess this is kind of like, same thing. So old coworker I had was on Facebook, and I had posted something just bringing awareness to say, hey, like this, we need to change this. Like this needs to, why did this happen? We need more details. And this individual, clearly had a difference of opinion and began to send me different articles that supported why, the death of George Floyd was justified. And my thing is,
I mean, the drug thing and his past and the beating women,
then,
and all the typical stuff.
And my whole thing is that I do hip hop theater, and I've talked about this type of issue with the relationship between the black community and the authorities and police, right?
Yes, yes.
And not demonizing or deifying either side, but saying, hey, let's get all the details and how can we stop the death? Regardless if you're black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever the case may be, certain offenses don't necessarily warrant death,
right?
Especially at the scene of the alleged crime.
Yeah.
So she's sending me all these things, and after a while, I got to a point to where I'm like, you know what? Expletive,
we don't need to be
expletive, because of the simple fact that if it were me, what would you try to do? Would you try to dig in my past and say, oh, well, he got a C- on his math? And it's like, what are we doing? Like, and clearly you don't recognize that you have a bigot type of mentality.
Right.
You're not trying to be open-minded enough to somebody that's coming to you with love and trying to listen.
Right.
To say, hey, okay, there's possibly something that's different from my opinion.
Right.
And it was just like, yeah, if I ever see her in public, you're invisible to me. You do not exist. There will be no pleasantries. There is no cordial behavior.
All right. So you had so I guess in terms of that, because to me, and I understand your point and the fear that she probably had of not understanding and not being able to say, wait a second, it's unjustifiable what happened to George Floyd for those 9 minutes, especially any seasoned law enforcement official seeing somebody that was that high on drugs.
Right.
You know what I mean? That we could say, hey, wait a second. Okay, sit down over here on the curb. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put you down on the ground. Let's talk this out. We need to get some help for you.
Let's try to diffuse this situation.
Yeah, it's the diffusion of it. So but I think this thing with Dershowitz and Larry David is a totally different kind of vibey thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's pervasive in Hollywood, bigotry. Davi, back in a minute.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Tired of lockdown? Let the reconnect begin. You belong here. Welcome home to the magic of Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California. Check out our new spacious outdoor dining al fresco. Romantic, market lights. It looks like a movie set. Dine under the stars and enjoy our tasty Angelo's and Vinci's pizza, pasta, seafood, chicken, salad dinners, and more. In the cool of the evening, come enjoy our award-winning menu, new wine list, specialty cocktails like our peach Bellini martini, appetizers, and more. Angelo's and Vinci's now open every day from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for relaxing outdoor dining. No reservations needed. Just come on in for delicious Italian food. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton. Call 714-879-4022. We're going to need a lot of pasta to get through this year. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton today.
Welcome back, Las Vegas, to the showroom at South Point, featuring the Righteous Brothers with Bill Medley and Bucky Hurd. Back by popular demand, August 17th to the 19th. Blue-Eyed Soul once again. Limited engagement, tickets only $39. Available at the box office, online at southpointcasino.com or charged by phone, 702-797-8055. Welcome back, Las Vegas, to the showroom at South Point.
All right, is that a Q2 or a Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA.
Nah.
To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement, ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Robert Davi Show.
I'm Dwayne Robinson, LAPD. I'm in charge here.
Not anymore. Hello, my dear friends. So we're going to pivot now from the wall of bigotry. I was talking earlier about how Alan Dershowitz and Larry David, who were once good friends, ran into each other in Martha's Vineyard, the playground of the elite. And Larry David then screamed at him, and even though Dershowitz voted for Hillary and for Biden enthusiastically, he felt he could defend Trump against the impeachment because of the Constitution. And Dershowitz is one of our great constitutional lawyers. And David screamed at him and said, "There's nothing that we can speak of, and how dare you?" And he became apoplectic, and so he's on the wall of bigotry. You see, and I think to myself, how must the left think of me in Hollywood? McCarthyism is alive and well in Hollywood. And they have to take a real examination of their own conscience on that. And that's another whole episode. Today I want to pivot now. I want to change into a nice, different arena. One of my oldest friends, who co-wrote a film I did, The Dukes, we won 9 awards on it. I met him when I did Gangster Chronicles, and we were friends for years, and he has a daughter, Sabrina, who, you know, I'm like an uncle to her. But besides that, Sabrina, as a young girl, had an interest in writing, like her dad, of course, was a writer. And she wrote her first screenplay at 7, with the help of her dad. And the following year, the Los Angeles Times, they had this, they published the kids' reading page to promote literacy before the age of 9. And Sabrina's little submissions at the time were chosen twice. And she then, that encouraged her for the importance of children's books and literacy. At the same time, she wants to share with children all over the world her passion for animal activism and wants to inspire them with stories of love and compassion. So she started her little company called Always Fair Books. And she had her first book that I read to my daughter, my 2-year-old. And my daughter, when she had a bunch of books, this is the one she would pick. She would go to this book all the time. And the book was called Adventures at Rainbow Ridge. And it's about a rescuer who arrives at Rainbow Ridge the night of his 100th birthday, and he's thrilled to see all of his pets waiting for him in the fields. But one is missing. Anyway, it's a terrific book, and you can get it on Amazon. The illustrations are beautiful, but I have as my guest today, I'm honored to be here, with Sabrina Fair Andronica.
Hello.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
That was a beautiful introduction.
Oh, well, that's who you are, right?
I was smiling so much you can't see it, but I was.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're smiling. So let me ask you. So the the inspiration for the Rainbow Ridge book, the first book, you have two. One that just came out called Cruelty Free is the Way to Be, which then touches on, you'll talk about that in a second, but how did you come about? What's your passion for animals? Where did that first start?
Well, I've been an animal lover since I was a child, and I was one of those kids that probably would have gone viral if YouTube was around in the early 90s, or as popular as it is now. And I asked my parents, where does chicken come from? I mean, how do we eat it? What happens to the animals? And my parents were trying to protect me, and they told me, oh, well, we eat it once they pass. If I would have known the truth, I probably would have been a vegetarian at like 7 years old. But at 21, I became a vegetarian. I'm now 30. I'm a vegan, an animal activist. So as time went on, my love for and respect for animals has grown, and I wanted to share that passion with children, because there's probably plenty of children out there like me who want to know more about how you can be more compassionate to the little beings we share this earth with. So that's what kind of sparked this interest in starting a brand for children through reading, which reading is very important, and I want to keep children reading. So the culmination was meant to happen.
Well, that's great. And how did the story of Adventure at Rainbow Bridge, how did you choose that for your first book?
Anyone who knows, anyone who has a pet or has had a pet knows of the Rainbow Bridge, because it's a poem that was written actually by, I believe it's an anonymous writer, but then there's several versions of the poem. And, to help with the loss of your pet, each clinic, if it's a vet, if it's a cemetery, they will give you a poem called The Adventure at Rainbow Bridge. Or, no, I'm sorry, not Adventure.
Hold on a second. While you're talking, guys, find a picture of both books, and let's put them up in there while Sabrina's talking. And you can get them on Amazon. Paperback, hardcover, or Kindle.
Yes.
You can get these books at Amazon. I want the audience to be able to
if you're not an Amazon fan, which I know people aren't, you can get it on Target, Walmart, if you want to support Barnes & Noble. So there are other sites you can get it on as well, but Amazon, I know a lot of people just go because it's quick and easy.
Adventures at Rainbow Ridge.
Yeah.
Is the first book. The second book is called Cruelty Free is the Way to Be. So Rainbow Ridge, so you came up with this, and how did you find your the illustrator? Because the illustrations are so sweet.
Oh my God! Well, she is wonderful. I just started skimming through Instagram, and I was looking up illustrators throughout, the whole world. And I was coming across so many from Italy, from America. There was another one in Australia, but I found this beautiful, talented woman in Sweden, and she specialized in children's art, and she already was a very seasoned illustrator for children's books, so she knew how to format and do everything perfectly. When with others, they were great artists, but they didn't really have that experience. And the partnership has just been a blessing. And I have my late mother, to thank for that, because she's the one who picked her originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's great. So Corinne, your mom had a hand in picking. I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah. So that's also a big part of how special it is.
Yes.
But the inspiration behind Adventure at Rainbow Bridge, when I lost my one dog back in November of 2019, I thought of how I would picture this heavenly place for animals, and when we reconnect, what would it be like? And I knew I had my first book, and so that's how the story came about. I made my own version of what I would want it to be.
Well, I want to tell the audience also, Sabrina is one of the best salsa dancers. You studied dance for how long did you study dance?
9 years old. I started Latin dancing partner styling or partner dancing when I was 15.
Yeah, but she's been doing that and training, and she has many, always respect you going after, and because that's what's important, to be the ability to express, and the opportunity that's given to you, no matter what. And you've had some tragedy in your life. You know,
yes, absolutely.
You've had tragedy in your life, as many people have. But the gift of it is to go on and to honor those people that have passed by going on and by doing what you're doing. That's how you honor them. And,
if you want them to watch you, you want them to watch you be happy, not sad. So that's what keeps me going.
That's right. And I have to say, I'm proud of this. And your first book, like I said, was enjoyable. And my baby, Gabriella, ate it up. It's battle-torn now, of course. And we have the new one, but I haven't read that yet. It just came out recently, about a month ago, right?
Yeah, not too long ago. It's very new.
Yeah, so we have Cruelty-Free is the Way to Be. When we're going to take a break, and we'll come back for another few minutes, if you can stay on for another few minutes.
Absolutely.
Okay? All right.
Okay.
We're talking to Sabrina Fair Andronica and her books, her children's books, Adventures at Rainbow Bridge, and Cruelty-Free is the Way to Be. Back in a minute.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Columbo's, since 1954, has been serving up fine dining in a relaxing atmosphere, and all at an affordable price. Columbo's is still doing something right. It's why so many travel from the West Side and the Valleys to experience and enjoy what Eagle Rock is known for years. Columbo's is truly something special. Columbo's serves up some of the most succulent, delicious steaks, as well as outstanding seafood offerings in all of Southern California. And the Columbo family's Italian specialties are worth the trip from anywhere. Columbo's is a memory maker. Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock, 323-254-9138. 323-254-9138. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, serving up fine dining in a relaxing atmosphere and all at an affordable price. Columbo's, of course.
Now it's time for MedVed's Entertainment Minute.
Jodie Comer plays a daredevil avatar in a video game who wants to enlist a supporting character, Ryan Reynolds, in a desperate effort to save their fantasy world in Free Guy. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
This world, it's a video game. We need you to be the good guy.
I'm not going to be the good guy. I'm going to be the great guy.
And this turns out to be an unexpectedly great movie, full of clever twists and inside jokes. The special effects are spectacular, bringing to life this parallel universe controlled by game players in the real world, where the goofy, good-natured Free Guy insists on taking an independent role. Rated PG-13 for scenes of danger and destruction, and too complicated for small children to follow, Free Guy is nonetheless enchanting entertainment that can reach even those of us who don't much care about video games. 3.5 stars for the surprising and satisfying Free Guy.
Robert Davi.
Another $80 million write-off.
I guess it's time to start cutting overhead. Okay, my dear friends, we're back. I'm on with Sabrina Fair Andronica. and her book, her new book is Cruelty Free: The Way to Be. And you can get that on Amazon. You can get that at Target and other places. She'll tell you in a second. We're on with her, and I just wanted to... Could you talk a little bit about Cruelty Free is the Way to Be? What was the inspiration for this book?
So after, I am an animal activist. So after I stopped eating meat and consuming dairy, I knew the next step was to shop cruelty-free, meaning not to support any products that are tested on animals. It's an unnecessary practice. It's very dated, and we don't have to do that anymore when we go shopping for especially beauty products.
Right.
So I looked up books on if there's any out there that help not only children but adults. And to give them advice on how to do this. And there aren't many, and there's definitely not a lot on kids. I haven't found any, really. So I said, okay, how can I do this in a safe way where I don't traumatize the child? Because it is a very barbaric industry. So I did it in a way where, I didn't sugarcoat anything, but I put things in there that were appropriate for children. As far as I mentioned, the beagle is a very peaceful and docile pet. And so any child, any family who has a beagle, if they hear that they are, debarked, their vocal cords are removed to stop them from barking in laboratories, it sounds, oh my God, that's horrible, but it's not as gruesome as really what goes on. Yeah. I mean, all these animals in laboratories, they don't have any names, they have numbers.
Yeah.
And I've met survivors of especially beagles, and a lot of them are just so damaged, and they take years to learn what a dog bed is, a toy, learn how to cuddle. They stand sleeping up because that's what they're used to, because they never see the sunshine. They never go out and play in the grass, and they have the tattoo on their ear on the inside. But a lot of these animals become pet, family-loving pets, thanks to this one organization that I'm partnered with, the Beagle Freedom Project, and I'm fortunate enough to have their app in the back of my book. It's called the Cruelty Cutter app. So that can help families, children. It's so much fun for children because they can walk around with this app, scan products, and it will tell them in a store, whatever Target you're shopping, oh, this one's cruelty-free, this one's not.
Well, I like in the book that you have Brooks the bunny, and he guides the children how to shop. So that's a good thing. I mean, it doesn't hit it over the head, but it gives it a fun, warm a way of being able to show children how to be eco-friendly, free of chemicals, toxins, use less plastic, which I think we're and living a greener life. And this is what the environment is about. So we have to start young. So I commend you on doing this.
Oh, thank you.
We just put up a picture of Adventure at Rainbow Ridge. This is the book by Sabrina Fair Andronica. You can get it on the Amazon, Target, different places. And you have the other one, Cruelty Free is Way to Be.
That one's on the same sites as well.
Yeah, no, we're putting that up on.
Okay.
Here it is. Here's the other book. So these are the two books you can see right there. Cruelty Free is the Way to Be. So get it now. Tell people all the platforms you can get this. Your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever accounts you have. Tell them about this.
So you can buy the book at Target, Barnes & Noble, Apple iBooks, Walmart. These are all online. Amazon as well. And then if you'd like to follow the brand, just to see any updates like the Robert Davi Show, we're going to put a link up if you guys like to watch it again or listen to it. That's at Always Fair Books. That's my Instagram for the brand.
Okay. And do you have a personal brand you want people to follow, or just stay with the book?
I'm on there as well. I don't even... Do I have my... I don't have my personal account list. I always forget. I think it starts with my last name. Let me see. Andronica S. I don't pay too much attention.
All right.
I believe it's Andronica.s, but you would probably find it on the Always Fair Books page because I have myself tagged as the author.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I love what you're doing, and
Thank you.
you know, and continue to do this.
Yes,
Sabrina.
I have.
And
I have a new book coming out this year. So
what's that called?
that one's going to be called Labrador with the Blockhead. I'm still working on the title.
Okay.
But this one.
Well, then don't talk about it yet. Just keep it
I
quiet.
won't talk about it. That will be the next episode.
Yeah. You would never. Your dad always had a thing. He would never talk about it till it was, till it was finished.
The illustrator's working on it. It's all done. It's just the title is The Last Spring. But this one I'm very proud of.
Okay. Well,
I
God
think
bless you.
Help a lot of children out there.
Thanks for coming on, and
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Okay. All right, Sabrina.
Really appreciate it.
All right, hon.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. So, friends, make sure you check out her books, and they're great for kids, really, from 4 to 8, and even 2 years old. My daughter was looking at pictures, and I'm reading a story, and it affects them. It starts now. And, also I have a very close, another cousin who has the largest animal sanctuary in the world, Delta Rescue. And we might hear from him at some point in the future. Really a pioneer in the animal rights societies, let's say. I mean, he's a legend in that. So, what do we have? We have 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Oh, all right. So, I'm going to read something that might be funny. A little twist here now. Do you guys remember the Abbott and Costello Who's on First routine? Right? I don't know the way that went. Well, this is a takeoff on that. And it's a Bud Abbott, Lou Costello. And I don't know if I should have... Nick, you want to read this? You want to play Bud Abbott and I'll play Lou and you'll read this with me?
Yeah, sure, send it to me.
I'll send it to you and you be... I hope you can do it with me. Let's see. Let's see if you can live up to Bud Abbott. You know who Bud Abbott was, right?
No, I don't.
You don't know who Bud Abbott was?
No, I forget. It's been a minute.
Do you know, John?
Not necessarily,
All
but
right.
my mother used to always do
All
the
right.
routine.
All right, so then I guess I should do this routine because if either of you don't know it, it's only going to kill the timing of it. Bud Abbott was the straight man. And no, it wasn't like that. All right, so I don't want to put you on the spot. I'll do both. I'll be Bud looking this way and Lou looking this way.
There it is.
So Bud says, you can't come in here. Why not? Well, because you're unvaccinated. But I'm not sick. Doesn't matter. Well, why does that guy get to go in? Because he's vaccinated. But he's sick. It's all right. Everyone in here is vaccinated. Wait a minute. Are you saying everyone in here is vaccinated? Yes. So then why can't I go in there if everyone is vaccinated? Because you'll make them sick. How will I make them sick if I'm not sick and they're vaccinated? Because you're unvaccinated. But they're vaccinated, but they can get sick still. So what the heck does a vaccine do? It vaccinates. So vaccinated people can't spread COVID. Oh, no, they can. They can spread COVID just as easily as unvaccinated person. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Look, I'm not sick, okay? And the guy you let in is sick, that's right. And everybody in there can still get sick even though they're vaccinated, certainly. So why can't I go in again? Because you're unvaccinated. I'm not asking who's vaccinated or not. I'm just telling you how it is. Never mind. I'll just put on my mask. That's fine. Now, I can go in. Absolutely not. But I have a mask. Doesn't matter. I was able to come in there yesterday with a mask, I know. So why can't I come in here today with a mask? If you say because I'm unvaccinated again, I'll break your arm. Take it easy, buddy. So the mask is no good anymore? No, it's still good. But I can't come in. Correct. Why not? Because you're unvaccinated. But the mask prevents the germs from going out. Yes, but people can still catch your germs. But they're all vaccinated. Yes, but they can still get sick. But I'm not sick. You can still get them sick. So then masks don't work. Masks will work quite well. So how in the heck can I get vaccinated? People sick, if I'm not sick and masks work. Third base. Did you type this? No, I just read it. Had to send it to you. Oh, my God. All right. So there it is. It's the Bud Abbott, Lou Costello routine, right? If I had more time to prepare this, I would have done it funnier. But I think it's still funny, right? It got along.
It's great.
Yeah, so we'll end it on a little note like that. Anyway, God bless. Remember, check out Sabrina Fair Andronica's books. And let's have a list of bigots. Let's write up a list of bigots. I think it's time. And we pray for the young girls in Afghanistan that are now being sold as slaves.
Are you tired of your favorite talk show sounding like this? What if you can hear your favorite talk shows in crystal clear, high-definition sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio, 7 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before. In true CRN high-definition audio, the difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Michael Medved, Tom Hartman, Stephanie Miller, Larry Elder, Sebastian Gorka, Charlie Kirk, and more. Fred Dreyer on sports, entertainment and lifestyle programming like The Lounge, The What's Cookin' Show.